What's up, guys? It's Miracle CatCorelli, and this is episode 299 of my Cat Vibe series. Today we're painting yet another rose from the same bush, I gotta say. So it's already a different rose. Either it's from a different angle or it is a fresh bud that bloomed into a new rose. Something like this. I don't quite remember. After all, I was painting this picture, this little study, roughly 2 months ago. And, well, this time I'm kind of laying out everything in bluish green colors, using basically the same approach like, you know, in the previous three studies. It's the same approach, same loose painting. So, what can I say? Enjoy my process. Meanwhile, there is something I want to say. Three things. Three things. One is that I made a post on my Instagram broadcast channel about that I've overestimated. I was overconfident about my ability to put out music, to produce music fast enough. So originally I thought that once I released the Gehenna Orcanum album, in just like 4 weeks I'll be able to put out the first single from Sunset City album, which didn't pan out, apparently, because once I started working on Giants, which is the opening track for the new album, it took me a lot longer, and the track itself turned out to be a lot longer than I previously thought. So instead of the more or less standard 3 to 5, maybe 6 minutes, it's a 10-minute track. And I spent a lot of time writing it, composing the riffs, playing guitar while I was writing this track, then recording the guitars, then doing some sort of, pre-mix, mix down, whatever, then writing the lyrics, then recording the vocals. And so now it's on the mixing stage. It's already in the bank. But while I was doing that work and kind of recharging in between after, the previous album and moving into this one, moving forward into the new album, I realized that I'll, have to make some adjustments to my schedule, because here on YouTube, for a very long time, I usually post 4 art videos where I'm painting, and then the 5th one, usually, is a music playthrough. It's usually a guitar and lyric video. But now I'm running into a situation where I have 2 more tracks left from Gehenna Orcanum. Then after that, I will have 1 more track, which was a cover song that I recorded in May, late April, May, as far as I remember this year. And that's it. And then I'm kind of supposed to go into, lyrics, following this logic, into lyrics and guitar playthrough of the first single from the Sunset City album. But the problem is that, nothing is even released yet. And then looking forward, I'll need some time in between, to space out these singles, because these songs are pretty complex. They take some production, and they take a lot of guitar, some guitar practice and some playing and some engineering and some writing lyrics, because none of these tracks have lyrics written. They have to be written. I have the story in my mind, but lyrics, I want to write the lyrics properly, and I don't like to rush things in that regard. And these are not pop songs. These are not simple songs. This is a complex kind of animal. So I need time. And so I think that I will be able to space out the singles. The distance between them is going to be 4 weeks. I think in September, I will release the first single. And right now, I'm just moving a lot faster as far as writing and production and arranging and, all the stems and all the parts and all of this. The entire production is moving faster. But I think 4 weeks is gonna be enough. I hope 4 weeks is gonna be enough. Which means, which means that also I will change the formula as far as my YouTube publications. So I will be doing 9, once I'm done with the cover song after the Gehenna Arcanum album, those, looking forward to those 3 guitar playthrough and lyric videos, which will show up. There's going to be 3 more. Then there will be 9 paintings spaced out, 1 in 3 days as usual. And then after that, the first single will drop and the video for it. And most likely the single itself will be released 1 day before that or on the same day. I think that's exactly how it's going to work this time. And looking forward to releasing this whole album. I think it will take some time. I'm not going to rush it because it's very complex. There is a lot of work to do on this album. It's very different from everything that I was working on in the previous 4 years. It's new, it's brand new. So that's part 1 of what I wanted to say. Part 2 is that simultaneously, and since I'm painting in oils, I thought, why not, actually? I'm going to paint a series of paintings entitled Sunset City, and this series of paintings has to do with the album. So, in essence, every single off of this album will have its own oil painting for cover art. I've already painted the artwork for the first single. Right now I'm working on a portrait. And then I will be painting the cover art for the second single. I already know what single is that going to be. I think we're going to be moving down the track list. I'm not going to give any singles from the back end of the album, so single number 1 is actually the first track, Giants. Single number 2 is going to be the second track. Single number 3 is going to be the third track, etc., etc., etc. I think this is going to be reasonable. And that's how I prefer to proceed as far as production. I like to move through the album track after track after track as the album unfolds. I don't like to jump to the end and then go back to the beginning and do this kind of stuff. Unless I just have a whole bunch of ideas which are kind of disconnected and they randomly pop and something shows up and I'm like, oh, well, it doesn't fit into this song right here, but I kind of need ideas for that last track, or I need ideas for that 8th track over there, and that's, kind of, I was thinking about this, so maybe, okay, let me set those ideas aside, put them there, and let them wait for their hour. I think I'm just going to make it easy on myself with this album, and I'm going to be releasing singles just as I move through the album. How many singles are there gonna be? I have no idea. There might be more. There might be less. It looks like the album will have 14 or 15 tracks. It's going to be a large album with tons of guitars. News number 3 is that in a matter of days, I will get me an 8-string guitar. So the first playthroughs for the first tracks, the very first single, I was using a 7-string, and you will see in the playthrough video, you will see me with a 7-string. And with my Tiger, which was drop tuned to F sharp, but you will also start seeing me with an 8-string guitar, because we're going down. We're going much heavier this time. Anyways, with that being said, thank you very much for being with me, and you will hear me next time. Thank you for watching. Ciao.